Child abuse, neglect, reporting, awareness, and prevention training for ECISD staff, 2016-2017. Texas Education Code 38.0041 includes the following. All school districts are required to provide training concerning prevention techniques for and recognition of sexual abuse and all other maltreatment of children. Factors indicating a child is at risk for sexual abuse or other maltreatment. Warning signs indicating a child may be a victim of sexual abuse or other maltreatment. Procedures for seeking assistance for a child that is at risk for sexual abuse or other maltreatment, including referral to a school counselor, social worker, or another mental health professional. Techniques for reducing a child's risk of sexual abuse or other maltreatments, and community organizations and resources that have relevant existing research-based programs that are able to provide training or other education for school district staff, students, and parents. Children most likely to be abused: physically and or mentally disabled children, unwanted children, small or premature infants, children with a will of their own who are inquisitive or demanding. Important facts. Child maltreatment occurs in all communities. 13,700 children are abused and or neglected every day. Nearly 5 children die every day in America from abuse and neglect. Half of all confirmed child abuse cases are neglect. 27 children die from poverty in America every day. A child living in poverty is excluded from neglect if the family is doing the best that they can with the resources they have. Child abuse rates increase during Christmas, spring break, or summer. You must know that Texas state law requires that the identity of a person making a report of suspected child abuse or neglect be kept confidential. A person who reports or assists in the investigation of a report of child abuse or neglect in good faith is immune from civil or criminal liability. Reporting your suspicion to a school counselor, principal, or another school staff member does not fulfill your responsibilities under the law. Furthermore, the district cannot require you to report your suspicion first to a school administrator. Child maltreatment includes physical abuse, physical neglect, mental abuse or neglect, sexual abuse. Why does child abuse and neglect occur? Violence in our society, cultural attitudes regarding discipline, financial crisis, poor housing, poverty, unemployment, dysfunctional family relationships, mental illness, low frustration tolerance leading to aggression, history of abuse and or trauma, lack of parenting skills, alcohol and chemical abuse. Look out for signs of child neglect. If the parent appears to be indifferent to the child, seems apathetic or depressed, consistently fails to keep appointments, is abusing alcohol or drugs, consistently excuses and or dismisses child concerns. Failure to provide adequate food, clothing, shelter, supervision, medical or dental care that children need to be healthy and safe is physical neglect. Some signs of physical neglect include being frequently absent from school, begs or steals food or money from classmates, lacks glasses, immunizations, medical or dental care, consistently dirty and or severe body odor, lacks proper clothing for the weather, no one home to provide care, engages in delinquent acts, vandalism, theft, etc., abandonment and expulsion from home or not allowing a runaway to return home. Signs of physical abuse: unexplainable burns, bites, bruises, broken bones, black eyes or cuts, fading bruises noticeable after absence from school, seems frightened of parents, protests when it's time to go home, shrinks at the approach of adults. Important note of physical abuse: never take a picture of an abused child, even if you're trying to document abuse. You will be accused of promoting child pornography. Leave this for law enforcement officials. Mental abuse or maltreatment: a chronic pattern of behaviors such as belittling, blaming, humiliating, rejecting, ridiculing a child, using words such as stupid, idiot, no good, worthless, etc., is mental maltreatment. Emotional abuse is the hardest for a child to overcome and hard to diagnose because the scars are hidden, but can result in insecurity, poor self-esteem, destructive behavior, angry acts, withdrawal, substance abuse, or suicide. Even the best of parents can lose control, but what is truly harmful is a chronic pattern that erodes and corrodes a child. Hurtful words and negative labels should never be used when dealing with a child. Signs of mental abuse or maltreatment: child may show behaviors such as biting, headbanging, bedwetting, overeating, or not eating. Shows extreme mood changes, acts in ways that are either inappropriately adult or inappropriately infantile, is delayed in physical or emotional development, engages in self-destructive behaviors, or parent or caregiver refuses help from others. About sexual abuse: 1 out of 3 girls and 1 out of 5 boys will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday. In 90% of sexual abuse cases, the abuser is someone the child knows. Perpetrators can be adults, teenagers, or other children. If a child says they have been sexually abused, believe the child. Stay calm, reassure the child that he or she did nothing wrong. Abuse is never a child's fault. Listen to the child. Do not make comments or judgments about the abuser, since the child may know or love their abuser. Make sure the child is safe from any further abuse. Get help for the child immediately. Signs of sexual abuse: sexual abuse includes acts of sexual assault and sexual exploitation of minors by parents or other caretakers, a broad range of sexual behaviors, and may consist of a single or many incidents. Consider sexual abuse when the child has poor peer relationships, has difficulty walking or sitting, suddenly refuses to change for gym, demonstrates bizarre or unusual sexual knowledge, runs away, exhibits withdrawal, chronic depression, and/or self-destructive behaviors, or experiences a drop in academic performance. If you suspect child abuse or neglect, you must report. Resolve your doubts. Call the Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-252-5400 or 911. Request advice by reporting your concerns. By reporting, you are requesting an investigation. It is not up to you to prove there is abuse. Every ECISD employee has an additional legal obligation to submit the oral or written report within 48 hours of learning of the facts giving rise to the suspicion. What will happen if I don't report child abuse or neglect? You may be placing a child at risk of continued abuse or neglect. You are violating the law and may be subject to legal penalties, including criminal sanctions. You are violating board policy and may be subject to disciplinary action, including possible termination of your employment, and your certification from the State Board of Educator certification may be suspended, revoked, or canceled. It is very important to remember that Texas state law specifically prohibits school officials from denying an investigator's request to interview a child at school in connection with child abuse and or neglect, requiring that a parent or school employee be present during the interview, coercing another employee into failing to report child abuse or neglect to a law enforcement agency. Coercion is considered a Class C misdemeanor offense. School personnel must cooperate fully and may not interfere with an investigation of reported child abuse or neglect. Below are some resources and information on child abuse and reporting. Please read below. If you have any questions or comments, please call our Office of Student and Social Services at 289-2300, extension 2023. And remember, the child abuse hotline is 1-800-252-5400 or call 911. Thank you for your attention.